You start a session the same way millions of others do. A few matches to unwind, a couple of objectives to tick off. Nothing dramatic, just football. But beneath that calm routine, there's another game running. One that studies every decision you make. When you pass short instead of long, when you panic and sprint into trouble, when you hover on the store screen for a few seconds longer than usual. All of that is recorded. Every movement becomes part of a profile the game builds about you. Developers call it telemetry, live data from millions of players feeding into servers that study what keeps you playing and what makes you stop. EA's internal systems call the process live tuning. Most players think that means small gameplay tweaks, adjusting shot accuracy or tightening defense, and it does. But live tuning also lets the studio alter the feel of the game worldwide in real time, keeping it balanced and stable without patches. What that tuning really manages is emotion. Not outrage or joy, something subtler, engagement. The goal is to keep you between frustration and hope. Too many wins and you drift away. Too many losses and you log off. But keep matches close, make every defeat feel fixable, and you'll play one more. In 2017, EA Research described engagement optimized matchmaking, a system that pairs players not just by skill, but by how likely they are to keep playing. Later patents formalised it, predicting retention, preventing churn, maximising session continuation. In simple terms, the code doesn't care who wins, it cares that you return. You can feel it even if you don't know it's there. The 2-1 loss where you hit the post twice, the rebound that always falls for your opponent, the match where inputs feel a fraction late. Just enough to frustrate, never enough to prove. It isn't someone flipping switches, it's a system that's learned what kind of match keeps you engaged. Behind that feeling sits the logic of engagement optimized matchmaking. In EA's patents, it's described as a feedback loop that predicts emotional states across sessions. The system analyses your play history, time of day, fatigue, and recent results to estimate your engagement curve, how likely you are to continue. Then it matches you with opponents, connection conditions, and even in-game momentum patterns designed to keep you inside that optimal emotional window. When you're on a winning streak, it increases challenge slightly to sustain tension. After losses, it subtly eases difficulty to restore hope. The outcome isn't random, it's probability sculpted into emotion. Across a FUT Champions run, that curve becomes visible. The first few games often feel smooth. Tempo high, inputs crisp, confidence building. As your record improves, matches tighten, opponents grow tougher, gameplay feels heavier, pressure mounts. Around the midpoint, where most players hover just short of the best rank, the system balances on a knife edge, alternating frustration and reward. Narrow wins spark relief, narrow defeats spark determination. It's engagement through contrast. By the final few matches, fatigue sets in and subtle variability, pace, rebound luck, even animation timing, ensures every result feels within reach but never secure. Whether you finish with 9 or 11 wins doesn't matter to the algorithm. What matters is that you feel you could have done better, and that you'll try again next weekend. Then come the weekly rewards. Packs, coins, player picks, each one scheduled with precision. They arrive on fixed days, Thursday for rivals, Sunday for squad battles, and at the end of every champs run. The timing isn't random, it's ritual. Regular resets turn play into routine. Effort, reward, renewal. Each cycle closes with prizes designed to feel just within reach of something better, sitting one tier above your average finish to keep ambition alive. That structure keeps you coming back. You plan around the reset, start fresh, and chase the next improvement. What feels like progress is in reality continuity, the loop rearming itself week after week. Some players call it scripting. EA denies it, and technically they're right. There's no single script dictating outcomes. Instead, there's a network of probabilities adjusting tiny things: positioning, collisions, animation priority, all to keep play competitive. You don't see the code, you feel it. Inside the studio, this isn't seen as manipulation. It's described as good product design. The language is sterile: player experience, adaptive balance, retention. But underneath it's psychology, using small invisible adjustments to sustain emotion. A former developer put it simply: we want every player to feel one tweak away from perfection. Frustration pushes you to change tactics. Success rewards you for trying. That is the loop. You lose narrowly, 2-1, 3-2. It's rarely a blowout. You tinker, swap formation, maybe complete an SBC for freshness. You win, feel vindicated, and keep going. The cycle repeats. These near misses are deliberate psychological architecture. In behavioural science, they call it the near-win effect. Outcomes close enough to success that they intensify motivation instead of ending it. Casinos use it in slot reel design. Social media uses it in algorithmic reach. Games like FC26 embed it in performance variance. The mind interprets almost as progress, and progress demands another try. That's why the defeats you remember most aren't humiliations. They're the ones that felt fixable. Every narrow loss delivers the same message: you're close. It turns frustration into fuel. Servers track everything: match gaps, score lines, time spent. When those numbers hint at fatigue or frustration, small adjustments follow. Smoother gameplay, gentler opponents, a bounce back win. It feels random, but it's orchestration. The same engagement logic used by streaming platforms and mobile apps, expressed through football. And within all of that orchestration sits a silent control group, the road to glory accounts. The players who refuse to spend, grinding every match, every objective, every upgrade. To most, they're seen as stubborn or pure. Inside the data, they're invaluable. They show where patience gives out, how long progress feels fair, and when effort turns to fatigue. Their sessions trace the line between persistence and frustration, the line EA studies to keep the rhythm perfectly tuned. These players think they're playing against the system. In truth, they're teaching it how long a player can last without help. The distinction matters. The game learns different lessons from different kinds of players. For those who spend, the system measures satisfaction through purchases, a sign that engagement is healthy. For those who don't, it measures endurance, how far motivation can stretch before exhaustion sets in. Both streams feed the same model, one mapping how hope converts to spending, the other mapping how frustration becomes fatigue. Together, they define the thresholds that keep the ecosystem balanced, ensuring no group burns out too quickly, and no group ever truly finishes. The rhythm extends to pacing. Everyone knows nights when FC26 feels faster or slower. Part of it's latency, part of it's live tuning. Tiny shifts to keep matches consistent worldwide. The result is psychological. A small delay changes how fairness feels. You start questioning yourself. Was it lag or was it me? That doubt keeps you hooked. EA's later patents describe systems predicting frustration and altering future conditions, not to make you win, but to keep you hoping. The design target is always the same: tense, never angry; engaged, never content. Nothing about it feels forced. Each match has its own gravity. One night the ball sticks, the next it slips. Sometimes you blame the servers, sometimes yourself. Either way, you stay. Inside the studio, dashboards track global match satisfaction. When averages dip, variables adjust. It's like an unseen referee controlling tempo, invisible but constant. The psychology behind it comes from behavioural economics, the same logic that powers social media feeds. Intermittent reinforcement. Unpredictable positives create stronger habits than consistent ones. In Ultimate Team, that reward isn't just a card. It might be the perfect pass, the bounce that goes your way. Uncertainty fuels repetition. Every sensory cue supports that rhythm. Crowd noise rises at key moments. Commentary softens anger. Vibration adds presence. The game tells you control is close. You just have to keep playing. And when that feeling fades, your attention drifts. The match ends, the sound fades, and a thought surfaces. That new SBC you scrolled past earlier on Twitter. Or the promo card a friend mentioned in a chat. It isn't that the game has dropped something new into your path. It's that your mind has circled back to it at the perfect moment. The timing feels deliberate, but it's coincidence shaped by routine. Rhythm disguised as relevance. EA's own financial report calls Ultimate Team a high engagement ecosystem. That's the real product, your time. Former producers admit the goal is to make matches feel competitive but attainable. They study retention graphs daily. If players leave after Game 3, one said, we ask what happened in Game 3. It's data-driven empathy, fixing boredom, not bugs. Technology predicts when you're close to stopping, and the experience bends to pull you back. Individually, it's invisible. Collectively, it's clear. Yet, the loop works because you love the sport. That's the genius of it. The system doesn't need to trap you. It just amplifies the passion you already have. Every delay, every narrow loss, whispers the same thing. Next time. Once you see the pattern, the experience makes sense. The rebounds, the lucky goals, the sudden flow after frustration. They're not random, they're the texture of engagement. Developers aren't villains. They're following the same metrics every modern entertainment company follows. Streaming, social media, sport, all built on attention. But football feels more personal. When control slips, it feels like betrayal. That's why this design cuts deeper. Soon, we'll look at what those mechanics lead to. How tension becomes spending, how loyalty turns to habit, how entertainment and manipulation start to overlap. But for now, as the menu hum fades and the controller rests, remember, you're not learning how to play FC26. FC26 is learning how to play you. That's part 1 of Being Played. Next time, we'll explore how the same psychological systems that keep you playing also drive spending, from reward timing to the way the game manages hope.